What's up, fam? I'm here. Don't know what I'm going to talk about. Let's see. Let's look in the spell book. Why am I a femdom? Because I'm a fundraising executive marketer. Days on market. I'm a pantry farmer, a natural chef, animated storyteller, intuitive teacher, and a resourceful creative. I'm the consummate hostess. What y'all got a taste for? What do we have a taste for? I know I be having a taste for something good, something that's not greasy, something that's satisfying, something that's easy. The other day, I went walking and to get me some incense, and on the way back, I was considering getting some food, but what was available was Toya's soul food, I think. I had seen reviews, but it was just all the same typical soul food, and quite frankly, out of my price bracket. Then there was Sharks, which is more fried food, seafood, and probably out of my bracket. There's a Chipotle, which I considered, but the last time I got guac, you know, it be gross me out sometimes when it's brownish. And I know that's natural, but I don't know. I just, And I want to say there was one more option. And the 7-Eleven, of course. None of these were viable options for me. Like a good sandwich and a cup of soup would have just hit right. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not available around here. You don't got no good delis, you know, to serve you up a good cup of soup out of the kettle and make you up a nice sandwich. Right? And so there's a need for that in this community, right? There's a need for sustenance that is intentional and nurturing, that is concerned, you know, about the health of its customer, its constituent, its, you know, the human beings that they serve. Oh, Pizza Hut, that was the other thing. And the other day I went and got me some Papa John's. I got me 2 pizzas if you do a carry out. I mean, well, you got to order it online. But medium pizza is $6.99. You know, get you 2 pizzas. You got to get a minimum of 2. So $15, 2 pizzas. Could have lasted me 3 days. But after the first day, when my legs got all swole, I was like, damn. I always know when food isn't good for me because my legs tell the story. I get swollen, just the bottom parts of my legs, my feet and my ankles get swollen. So whenever I drink pineapple soda, eat pizza, certain foods, my legs be like, now you know. this was not it. Even when I like sometimes oversalt my food or stuff like that, my legs will swell. So the body be telling you exactly what the fuck you be doing to it. And a lot of us in our community, we just don't listen to that shit. It's like, trunk legs everywhere up around here. People moving so slow. Just fucked up. Clutching their bags of Rainbow and McDonald's and Subway. There's absolutely no sustenance available to us. So then you wonder why the mental health, why the intellect, right? And so then the people who have it, like me, I was someone living in my community with a certain disdain for my community that I had to reconcile. I never really wanted to embrace the word nigga. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't even raised like, I remember the first time I heard cracker, just casually used, like them crackers. I was like, oh wow. I remember being intrigued by it. I never had white friends. Well, I had one white friend, I think, in junior high school, Sonia Jimenez. And she had asymmetric, you know. She was interesting. But that wasn't a long-term friendship, and it wasn't like a friendship that had any bones to it. I don't know. I think it was probably a friendship of circumstance or something. But that was the only white friend that I can recall that I've had. Everyone else white in my life has been a coworker, someone I established a friendly working relationship with. So I've never been, but it's crazy because I was called an Oreo and all kinds of stuff back in the day, but I've never centered myself around whiteness in any way, shape, or form, except when I started to dismantle the colonialism within me. You know what I'm saying? I had to really see where whiteness had me all the way fucked up. And my eyes started to open. The very idea of all good in the hood, right? The people who grow up in the hood, the messaging you get is that you gotta make it up out the hood. In order for you to succeed, you must make it up out. So when we as a people progressed more and more, got more education, got this, got that, there was a lot of resource that was invested in getting the fuck out. So it's the hood structure is designed for people to get it out the mud and then take it elsewhere. Often to communities where we're the only one or we're the minority. And so then that conditions you. That conditions you in a different way. It's all conditioning. So when you are in a hood, and it's all good, right? You have those folk who are just so caught up in it, and they play a function, right? So they kind of drive the whole aid economy. And then you have the worker bees, right? And they drive um, some of the larger economies in the city, but they have to leave their communities to do it. So hospitality, uh, tourism, it's a lot of security guards in our community. So they get up and they roll up out the community, and most of us we're very hard car dependent over here, right? And then you got your professional; they also have to leave. Um, I've been working from home since 2010, but um, it became a lot more popular during the pandemic. Those people are now being required to come in. And then we have a huge government population here in DC, so those people are also required to go back in. So a lot of commuting outside of the community. So there's no demand for certain infrastructure like coffee shops and sandwich shops because a majority of the workforce in this ward is going elsewhere. That's problematic. That's problematic in so many ways because, I was one of them, right? I used to bike to work, and my last job, I biked to work. Not consistently. I biked to work sometimes. I walked to the trains. That didn't last long. Walking to the train station didn't last long. Driving to the train station and catching the train into the city, I would do that. And then there were times where I just drove and I would pay for parking. These are all things that are hitting the pockets that a lot of communities do not. These are expenses a lot of other communities don't incur. Gas, fare, parking, right? And then we looking at the demographic, and the white people in Ward 7 make almost double. The average white person in Ward 7 makes almost double than the average black person in Ward 7. There ain't too many of them in here. We're 90% black ward. But it's like, what the fuck? So I think that's where the dark tourism ideas started to get birthed. Like, how can we rest? How can we stay at home, stay in our community, and make money? And how can we do that en masse as a community? And we do that en masse as a community by pooling our resources, pooling our talent for one common goal, a singular vision, right? For me, that singular vision is liberation, but how do you achieve liberation? And for me, you achieve liberation by dismantling the top line warfare. And I don't care who you are, that top line warfare is always going to be food. It is the top of the food chain, not the apex predator, the white man. Let's just say it. That's not the top of the food chain. That's what they want you to believe. That is the rhetoric, you know, that's out there if you Google it and shit. But the top of the food chain is food. And that who controls the food controls the people. So getting agency over the food is top line. And how do we do that? It's complicated, right? It don't have to be. It don't have to be. You just start redirecting resources. You start having collective bargaining power. And again, you have to do that collectively. So, all of this to say that a bitch needs to actually start talking out loud, because this was pretty good. I'm going to have to listen to it. I'm impressed myself. So, with an outline, you know, a bitch could probably talk. Bitch, all right, I'm going to start talking. I'm going to start putting it out there, I guess.